If I took away your career, your appearance, your social status, and even the roles you play for other people, who is Lorena Bernel really?
I would say Lorena is a soul with a little girl kind of vibe. Very happy and grateful to be living a human experience on Earth, and very curious for how human beings are and for all the beautiful things the earth brings, like the smells, the sounds, the sights, the relationships. And it's a soul that feels this life is going to be short, so I try to make the most of it and enjoy every single moment, the goods and the bads, and everything as a whole beautiful human experience.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So you've talked about burnout before. Do you think it's sometimes less about working too hard and more about living too far away from your true self?
I think burnout can come from a variety of situations. It's there are many sort of burnout. But if I have to pick like something that is in general in every situation of burnout, I would say that it comes from not living in the present moment, not really being where you are, and being caught up in your head, like in the worries, in the planning, in the accumulation of obligations, the accumulation of responsibilities, the fear of not doing enough or not achieving. And if you get caught up in that storm in your head, it's really hard not to get burnout because it's unlimited. What the head can accumulate is unlimited and it's very heavy. So I think it comes from there, from fear, from accumulation of being in the future or in the past, basically in your head. And I think it has a quite easy, quick fix, which is go to your heart and to the now and to the present moment and do what you are doing in this moment. You are doing it instead of thinking, I'm doing this to get something, or I'm doing this, but then I need to do this other thing, or what I'm doing it is not enough, or my boss is calling me, or my parents, or my obligations. So just if you go back to the present and to do what you're doing at this moment, suddenly it loosens that weight you have, and you can go thing by thing, step by step, doing what the same things you're doing.
Do you think technology's played a part in burnout?
Technology can play a part because it doesn't allow us to disconnect from our heads. We are constantly connecting to stimuli and downloading a lot of information. So we don't allow ourselves moments to step away from that accumulation of information. If we would, all that in our heads would or dissipate or reorganized somewhere in our heads. We would breathe and then we would go back to the storm, let's say. But we don't allow ourselves those moments. Whenever we have those moments where we could just breathe and rest, we connect to the phone or to calls or to emails or to social media. We are not in silence anymore, just contemplating or just releasing whatever load we have in our heads. So yes, technology makes the disconnection of the storm way harder. So yeah, it plays a part, a big part. Yeah.
You've gone from public facing success to much deeper inner work. Was there a moment where outward achievement stopped feeling emotionally fulfilling?
I wouldn't say they started feeling not fulfilling. I would say that there were a few moments where I realized that the deep fulfillment wouldn't come from my career achievements. For example, when I lost one person that was vital in my life, she passed, and at that moment the emptiness you feel when someone vital for your survival kind of is gone. There is no job, no career, no award, no success that can fill those voids, that emptiness. And I felt that I had a very important loss at a moment where my career was at a peak. Like I was in Hollywood working very successfully. And I think it was an aha moment where I said, wow, I feel so empty and it's going so well. And what I thought would give me what I wanted in life is not even close to fulfill the emptiness I feel inside. And then I traveled, I went to see my family, and just a hug from my mom or from someone I loved would give me for at least a few seconds that fulfillment inside. So I said, wow, there's a lot here to dig in and to realize priorities and what is important, and do not take for granted the support that having the love of the people you have around sustaining you while you are achieving whatever success you want to achieve. So yeah, I had those moments, and eventually I completely realized that if I'm not fulfilled emotionally, or maybe not fulfilled, but like in peace emotionally, there is no success that will give me any sort of happiness or joy. Yeah, unless I have that base in peace and in harmony. And yeah, I mean, I think since I realized that, I like it's like my priorities kind of changed completely. I didn't stop reaching out for the success in the many areas I would like to achieve things, but from a completely different point of view.
Yeah, I think, yeah, something that stood out to me there was the love of family and friends and human connection, right? It's nothing, there's nothing. I also have had loss in my life at quite a young age, and I'm a father now, and I know you're a mother, and just a hug from my son can change my day, you know? Those are the moments that I think we're all gonna look back on when we're older that really mean something.
Totally. I think if you get an award and you're getting it and you look at the front row and there's no one really close to you clapping or smiling or feeling proud of you, I think it loses the whole purpose of that award, no? Or achievement, or I don't know, whatever you are, if you have no one really that connects deeply to you, next to you, loving you and feeling happy through you, there's no meaning. So that emptiness can be really, really damaging if you don't have that support system next to you.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of high performers look successful on paper, but maybe they feel anxious, disconnected, or empty internally. Why do you think that that's becoming so common?
I mean, what one reason I think is what we just talked about. Sometimes if you use your life your 100% or almost your 100% to achieve success in your career, it's inevitable to dismiss the most important things without really realizing. You can sometimes neglect your relationships with your family, with your friends, even with yourself, focusing on achieving success in your career. So eventually you will feel that emptiness inside. Also, there's another thing that also these days is harder, which is the demands. I think we tend to want perfection more than before, and speed. Like you want things perfect now, and you can measure that perfection. There are many tools now to measure every data, every number, so you know you are not being perfect, if that's a thing. So you know constantly you are not good enough yet. So you keep trying to reach that expectation, that perfection, and you need to do it quicker because everyone is in the same kind of race than you are, while at the same time you're neglecting your heart and your support. So yeah, that's eventually will explode somehow in some way, I think. And the more demanding your career is, the more you can feel this.
It goes hand in hand, I think, with burnout and also technology and optimizing everything, like you just said.
Yes,
It's
and now like we
yeah,
have AI to measure and to tell us everything, and it's perfect apparently. So human errors or human vulnerabilities become a liability, and that's a shame because we should embrace that instead of trying to make ourselves better with not really an end, because it's impossible. No, we're kind of chasing an impossible. And it's a shame that a lot of people are realizing that when they are already falling in the of the cliff, and they're looking up, while they're falling, and say, "Oh my God, like why did I allow myself to get to this point?" No.
and do you think it's an easy time to be a parent right now?
I mean, no, it's not an easy time. I mean, to be a parent, I think it's way easier than we try to make it. It should be easy. It's in our nature, is in our I mean, we are living beings, and it's natural for us being a parent, right? And model to our kids how to live, how to survive, and it should be easier, way easier than it looks like these days. These days, again, parents are trying to be perfect parents. We keep reading how to's, no, how to be the perfect parent, how to speak to our children, how to communicate better, how to cope with their all their flaws, or our flaws, and it's a constant trying to be better, as if someone will get us a trophy for being the best parents in the world. And in that process, we forget the main nature of being a parent, which is, in my opinion, being a parent should bring us the opportunity to see what a human being really is in its core, and to remind us what love feels like, what curiosity feels like, joy, presence. We have it in our children. So we should take it as a reminder of how we should live, instead of people we need to teach constantly how to be or what to do in order to achieve a success that we don't even know how to achieve, kind of. No? So I think the whole parenting world, sadly, it's a little messy these days.
Yeah, yeah, couldn't agree with you more. It's amazing how many people asked me when I was expecting my son what books I'd read about parenting. I thought I've, I've got my heart and my human
Yeah.
nature. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. I mean, it's true that society is more complex, and we need to teach our kids how to survive in the society we are raising them. But besides that, everything else should come from our essence, from who we are, from us being happy and joyful and modeling that to them. It should be easier. And yeah, and it's not.
You talk about self worth a lot. How can someone tell if their confidence is actually authentic or just performance and validation addiction?
Well, that's a big topic. I like to differentiate self-worth or self-esteem and self-confidence. Someone can be very confident in an area and have very low self-esteem or self-worth. So the self-esteem comes from believing that you are here for a reason, that you have something to bring to the world, that your life is worth it. The self-confidence comes from, I know a lot about this topic, or I'm an expert on this, and I'm confident that I know how to do it. Right. So a lot of people that have a lot of confidence in certain areas, but have not self-esteem, the knowing, the wisdom about that area, it's not enough for them to feel worthy enough. So sometimes they hide that lack of self-esteem by only living in the environment where they feel confident, because they don't want to even look a little bit at the whole world where they feel not enough, or where they feel useless for the world. No, it happens a lot in like high achievers, or very important kind of, people in certain careers, that they are very confident there and successful there and admired, but then in the personal world they feel little, maybe because of their childhood, or maybe because they didn't take enough time to develop that self-esteem, and that comes also from relationships, no? So you can get addicted to that world where you feel confident, and sometimes that confidence can feel performed as well, because in the base, in the deepness of you, you feel that emptiness or that lack of self-worth. So there's an energy, like in the base of that confidence, that the person keeps having and feeling inside, but trying to avoid it by showing maybe more confidence and performing it better or more. So you get kind of addicted to that, because it's the only way you can get a certain kind of feeling of validation. I think it's very complex, but quite easy to dissect if you are willing to.
Right. It's the willingness, right? That most people, well, I think a lot of people, and I know people in those positions, don't have the awareness, right? First of all. And then it's having the willingness to dig deep, which I think is very difficult for a lot of people.
Yes, sometimes they need a very big hit in order to stop and say, okay, maybe there's something there that I need to pay attention to. But hopefully, and I see people more and more aware of these things, and hopefully they don't need this big hit, or illness, or something in their life in order to start doing the work.
Right. That kind of leads on nicely to this question, which is, why are CEOs, athletes, and entrepreneurs suddenly becoming obsessed with mindfulness and nervous system regulation?
Well, yeah, because it's all of this is related, no? And more, as we said, the demands are even bigger, and right now it's constant. Now you, like, before, you would go to the office, or if you were an athlete, to the training ground, or whatever, and then you would go home, and home was like your sanctuary. You didn't have your office or your boss or your the responsibilities on a phone. Now we have it constantly. So we don't have the time to reset, and to breathe, and to pause. So it's becoming more on how do you say in English? Unbearable, because there's no time to breathe. There's no time to pause. So when these people that are caught up in that discover the mindfulness, or breathing techniques, or things like that, they use it to get at least a few minutes to settle, and to reset, and to pause. It shouldn't be like this. mindfulness shouldn't be a tool for you to, if you're drowning, to just go breathe a little bit and then go underwater again. It's a tool you can use, but it shouldn't be like that. I think we should learn to not be underwater and to know how to swim, kind of, not be drowning and someone pulling you out and breathing for a few seconds and then go back to the to the water. I mean, at least they are realizing they are underwater, kind of, to continue with the analogy. And these tools like mindfulness or yoga or breathing techniques are becoming popular because they really work. But at the end of the day, it's about being present in wherever you are, with whoever you are, whatever you're doing, just being present and going back more to your feeling and to your heart and not be caught up by your head.
And is there one daily practice or tool that's genuinely changed your mental health in a lasting way?
I was lucky enough to be aware of all this kind of naturally, but I don't need, or I didn't need, like something drastic to change my mental health, because it's been quite good, ups and downs, but quite good in my life. But what I always say, that a quick fix is to just stop for a few seconds and breathe and feel gratitude. Wherever you are, say thank you. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for having this experience of being alive. Life is very short and it's not worth it to be missed. So wherever you are, if you just stop a few seconds and feel the air or your touch or the smell or the sounds, and say thank you for my heart beating. Thank you for my breathing. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be alive. Just that, a few seconds regulates your whole nervous system. And the more you do, the more you realize it's all about that. It's all about just being grateful for being alive and realizing that life is extremely short, and it's not worth it waiting until the last days to realize what a gift it is to just be alive, whatever your situation.
And how do you instill that kind of thing into with your children? Do you talk to them about gratitude, being present?
I don't think with the children it's something worth to talk about. I think with the children, first of all, they have it ingrained in them because we all have it in nature. When we are children, we just look at a butterfly and we open our eyes and how beautiful, and we feel grateful without even knowing or without even labeling that feeling. But if they are starting to lose it, the best way of reminding them is by being grateful yourself and modeling that feeling. Because if you talk to them about anything from being grateful for being alive, they will feel it and they will feel the same. It's not a topic you can conceptualize or you can logically explain. It's something you need to live. And when you live like that, you are more in peace, you are more loving, you are slower in your life, and they feel it and they get it. And it's contagious. It's inevitable to get contagious. Is that a word?
No,
Or
but I know what you mean.
yeah, it's
It's like a feeling. You see a happy parent, you know, the
yes, yes.
yeah,
You get it from someone that is being that, not
yeah.
from a conversation.
It's
Then of
contagious.
course
It's
you
contagious.
can,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Of course you can verbalize it and you can talk about it, but you cannot really teach it with words.
It's a feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
have
a
to feel it.
state of being, more than a feeling even.
Mm. Yeah, that's really nice. Have you ever had to completely rebuild your identity after realizing the version of yourself you were presenting to the world wasn't sustainable anymore?
I haven't. What I did have to do was to dare to present my whole me as one to everyone. I used to present just parts of my identity depending on what environment I was in. I would present my most vulnerable and authentic self only to my family. And when I was working or in the public eye or whatever, I would only present the side of me that I thought was worth it kind of to share, or that I thought they wanted to see, or whatever I was thinking, but it was just a part of me. So it took me years to realize that I am a whole. And when you present yourself as a whole, it's you feel free, you feel vulnerable, but it's the stronger you can feel when you are just yourself in any situation, and you detach from looking at yourself from through the eyes of others, and you just are.
Was there a turning point in which you decided to present yourself to the world fully?
It was a little by little. It was steps by steps, and realization by realization. And I remember a few years ago where I had a kind of a conversation with myself and deciding, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready because I'm not scared at all of what others would think or how others will react to me, because nothing can really hurt me. Not because I'm strong with a lot of armors around me, just the opposite, because I don't have any armor and I feel stronger than ever. And this is who I am, and I dare to be who I am no matter what. I think it was a decision after having a lot of experiences, especially observing that almost everyone live with different masks and different hats that you put on and off constantly, depending on where you are or who you are with. And that limits yourself and limits your freedom and your complete fulfillment. Once you dare to do it and you feel so good, it's impossible not to do it. And you're okay with whatever happens, because you are so free and so happy and so in peace with yourself that you just are.
You're authentically being yourself. Yeah. That reminds me of, I did some acting training, and the method we trained in is very much that. It's taking away all the kind of scaffolding and rules we've been given by society to be a version of ourselves that isn't true to who we are. And it was really it was really powerful once, yeah, like you say, once you get a taste of that, it's hard to ever go back. And you
Mm.
quickly, yeah, you can quickly tell when people are being authentic as well, I think.
Yes, and the trick here is that the different identities. You said you're not being true to who you are, but you are being true, but to who you are just in a tiny bit. There's a whole you that is not being present in the moment, in whatever moment you are. So you lie to yourself. You say, no, this is me. Yeah, but this is not the complete you. And also, who is you? No, like the first question you ask. I mean, who is you? Is your story, is the identity you have built, is your religious beliefs, is your parents' education or your school education or the environment you're living in. It's not the same to live in New York and to be raised in New York, or to be raised in the mountains in, I don't know, in Switzerland. No, if you were you with the same thing but raised somewhere else, you would be a different you. So that identity you built is not really you. It is your story. It is your life. But you, the one who is living the life, or who is embodying that story, that is the real you, the one that is worth it to present to the world. And that also gives you no limitations of who you need to be, and gives you a lot of flexibility to become who you want to become in the environment you are in, not limiting or labeling yourself. So it gives you a lot of freedom and a lot of also courage to do anything, because nothing will break you because you kind of adapt.
What do you think people misunderstand most about spirituality and inner work?
There are a lot of misunderstandings about that. I mean, the main one, the first one that comes to my head is the religious beliefs and spirituality kind of, if like people sometimes think they are the same thing. Spirituality comes with religion and it has nothing to do with it. Also, people think spirituality is just a woo-woo concept that make you just waste your time, because obviously it asks you to slow down. And these days when you slow down, you feel you are wasting time because you're not being productive. And spirituality and that whole world is not about being productive. It's just about being and stepping off from the train you're going in, and realizing that human beings, no, we are, I mean, it's a little, how do you say, stereotypical, but it's, we are mind, body, and spirit, right? We are our heads, our brain thinking, we are our body, but we are also an energy, a something else. People can call it a soul or an energy or a higher self or a, I don't know, depending on what point of view you are looking at it, you label it with different words, but we are that as well. And that as well that we are, the study of that would be spirituality, which is kind of the science of that something else that we are, whatever that is. And there are many ways of studying it or of digging into it more deeply. It's like science. Science has many ways of studying whatever, the science of, I don't know, of nature, of electricity, the science. There's a lot of things to study in science, where spirituality is the same thing, the study of that something else that we are and that we all know we are. So it's not a waste of time. It's really the deepest and most important job you can do, because only by asking yourself questions about it, you pause that speed and that race you are caught up in.
Fantastic answer. If someone listening to this feels overwhelmed, disconnected, and stuck in survival mode, where should they begin without turning wellness into another thing to fail at?
Well, wellness shouldn't be another task to put in your diary. It shouldn't be something else you need to achieve. If you feel overwhelmed and disconnected, I would advise you to just stop, pause, take an hour and don't do anything. Forget about your phone, forget about your job, forget about your responsibilities. Just pause and breathe and look around you and ask yourself questions and allow yourself to answer those questions. Why am I feeling this way? Why this is so important to me? Why am I scared? What is the worst that could happen if I don't do whatever I think I need to do? Like, ask yourself those questions and allow yourself to listen to the answers and pause. There's nothing more important than living. If you
Yeah.
keep doing and doing and achieving and you keep doing that, you are wasting your life and you just have one. There's just one ride in this roller coaster. Some people have a roller coaster that is extremely hard with a lot of loopings and ups and downs. Some people have a roller coaster that is more bearable. But at the end of the day, there's just one ticket, one ride, and it goes very fast. And you have the button to kind of go a little slower in that roller coaster. You don't need to get caught up in the speed of it. So just pause and zoom out and look at the bigger picture since you are born until it's game over. It's just one thing, one life, one ride. Decide how you want to live it. And that should bring you a little bit to yourself. And I think as soon as people are in that zone of being present, just a second, you feel so good that you start seeking more of that. And when you are in that path, then you are good because eventually you will get there.
Where can people find out more about your work?
People can buy my book. The book it starts with you. It's a quite easy read and simple with many concepts that like many of the ones we talked about in this past hour and many more with exercises and with little tricks and little advice to start with an inner work. So it's a very good place to start with in the work I do. And then if they want more, they can subscribe it to my newsletter, bi-weekly newsletter in my website, livelovebetter.co.uk. With Live Love Better, we do talks, we do webinars, we do events, and the whole theme is to help people reconnecting with their authentic self through many different ways and to apply it to their lives. It's a very practical kind of consciousness. It's a work I do that I think it's very useful for the everyday life. And so the website, the newsletter, the book, and that's it basically. I mean, also, yeah, social media, but I don't use social media as much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.